here on the Babe Hair Extensions YouTube channel. And of course, I am Courtney, your host. So you are now watching part 3 of our 3-part series, Bait and Switch. If you have not already checked out the last 2 videos, go ahead and give them a watch, and then you'll understand the conclusion of today's video. We have finally reached the end of our crazy fusion fiasco, and I am so pleased to present you the conclusion. Here we go. So to recap briefly, we left you off with a client who had terrible fusions in her hair. She drove 4 hours to have somebody look at them, and it was impossible really to get them out. Remember, it took 3 stylists, 2 bottles of remover, and like a 6-hour time frame to even get them out. And come to find out, they weren't actually even just straight fusions. They were eye-tips with a keratin glue mess surrounding them. And so our real hair crime in this situation was just everything, like everything. So here we are at the very end, and here is how we solve this crime. Now, how do we solve this hair crime? There's a couple things, again, and this goes into understanding what her hair texture type was. So obviously she had a chin length bob, pretty fine texture. So when you're talking about wanting to add body in the hair, there's a real right way and obviously a very wrong way, as you just saw, to do it. And the right way would be to customize those fusion bonds. So instead of using eye-tip hair and like adding extra weight and yada yada, taking actual fusion hair and cutting them down. So remember, you can actually take your fusion strands, cut them into like tiny pieces or half bonds or whatever you want to do to customize for your client's needs. Okay, so customizing those would have been obviously the best option. The other is when you're talking about wanting to do length, as a general rule, you don't want to more than double the length of the hair, especially if we're talking about like a blunt chin length bob. She's not going to get like booty length hair at this point, right? Like she's going to get maybe shoulder length and maybe a little longer. And if she was looking for longer hair, you may want to have switched your method to something maybe less stringy, if you will. Sometimes the single strands tend to be a little bit more stringy in the hair. When we're trying to give somebody density and volume that has like very fine hair. So kind of just, you maybe want to change up your methods or mix and match your methods. Dealer's choice on that, whatever you feel like is best for your client. But you have several options to consider. So not more than doubling the length of the hair in this case, and then, customizing those bonds for a better fit. So how did this all end? Really good question. Here we go. So the stylist said after we got them all out, she wanted extensions put back in. Because why not, right? So I was really hesitant to put anything in, but I also felt super bad because she had such compromised hair at this point. But she still had a lot of good, healthy hair. Remember, she only had those 2 rows in, so the hair above and hair below were completely untouched. So I was thinking that we could put something below and above to kind of help her out. So I decided to not use fusions, though that would have been my personal preference, but because she had had fusions in her hair prior and it was just a whole bad experience, the stylist went with just an eye-tip application. Okay, so we just made it about 1 inch longer. We used those eye-tips for only a little bit of extra fullness, so not length or anything like that, just gave her a little bit, but like really just added in the fullness because she's missing a lot of hair now in that 2-row section. And she wore these extensions for about a month. And then she called me and said the breakage was just so bad where she had those 2 rows, and she just ended up shaving her whole head. So on a side note, like her daughter actually ended up having cancer, and so she did it out of like support with her daughter, which was totally fine. It was okay, but bless her heart, like to go through all of that and then just shave her head. So, yep, start it all over. So moral of the story, find a reputable stylist. Stylists, if you are just doing extensions for the fun of it without being actually properly trained, I highly encourage you to get properly trained. Nothing is better than a properly trained stylist. We also have like a bazillion classes that you can check out both online and in person. So head on over to babehairextensions.com to figure out if we're going to be in a city near you. You can also talk to one of your local sales reps or distributors and see if they offer Babe hair extension classes, okay? So also, if you're a stylist, don't forget to check out our Solutions Academy, Babe U, on babehairextensions.com. It is our online Solutions Academy offering things from free videos to monthly subscriptions to yearly subscriptions. So you're going to want to check that out so you can keep current on your education. There's a lot of great tips and tricks with that. And then if you're not a stylist, don't despair. We still have a lot of fun things for you too. You can head on over to our TikTok or our Instagram at Babe Hair for more laughs and learns. What crimes will we come up with next? You're gonna have to wait and see. Until next time, crime solvers.